Welcome to lesson 3 of this first pillar of acquiring a golden mindset. Today, we will do something that will help you play a much bigger game. We will make your dream bigger and faster. So let's dive right in. Do you dream big enough? Do you think you dream big enough? The shocking truth is most people don't. A while ago, one of the best athletes in the world, he's a very, very famous one, came to see me and he said, Florencia, I need help. I have lost every major Grand Slam championship I've presented myself to in the last 2 years. I need help. And so one of my first questions was, okay, now please, first, share with me, what is your big dream? And so he says, well, my big dream is to play in my level again. I want to play well again. And I tell him, is that all? That's your big dream, to play well again? Come on, dream bigger. And he says, well, yes, if you tell me to dream bigger, I would like to win a Grand Slam. And I tell him, okay, how fast do you want that to happen? And he says, well, I would be really happy if it happens within 1 year. And so I ask him, what is the fastest? How fast can you make it happen? What is the fastest? And he goes, well, the first Grand Slam is the US Open, and it happens within 5 weeks. And so I looked at him and I asked him, are you willing to allow yourself to dream with winning the US Open in 5 weeks? And he says, well, yes. What do you think happened 5 weeks later? He won the US Open. But here comes the really interesting part. Do you think his level of talent changed in those 5 weeks? No. Do you think his opponent's talent changed in those 5 weeks? No. Nothing really changed except his mindset. He set his mind to believe that he could do it, and so he did. And the other interesting thing is that within minutes of talking with me, he went from saying, my dream is to play well again, to my dream is to win the US Open within 5 weeks. By the way, he won 3 of the 5 Grand Slams that year. And so I want you to think about your dream now. I want you to really analyze your dream and ask yourself, are you having a stretched goal? Because the first step to have a golden mindset is to have a stretch goal. What is a stretch goal? Okay, it's a big goal. It's a goal that will really force you to go out of your comfort zone. Research shows that all the people that have stretch goals are more motivated, are more driven, have more sense of purpose in life. So, how can we have a stretch goal? So in the beginning of my journey, when I was building my first business, I was constantly stressed out about finances. How am I going to get the money? How am I going to make ends meet? And then one day I meet with this guy, and this guy tells me, and he was a finance guru, and he says, Florencia, what's your dream revenue for this year? And so I tell him, yeah, I have it in my mind. And he says, can you write it down? So I write down my dream revenue. He looks at it and he says, why don't you add a 0 to it? And I go, well, yeah, but you know what? It's not very realistic. And he looks at me and he says something I will never forget. Well, dreams are not supposed to be realistic. They're not descriptions of reality. You see, they are dreams. And you'd better dream big. And so I did. I added the 0. Kind of doubtful at the beginning, but then I stuck the number next to my laptop and it sat there for 1 entire year. And 1 year after that, I did not reach it. It took me 1 year and 5 months. So your turn now. I want you to think of your dream. And now I want you to think, how can I make it bigger? And bigger can be adding a 0 to your revenue goal. Bigger can be, let's see, if your dream is to write a book, you can say, now my dream is to become a best-selling author. If your dream is to become athletic, your dream bigger, your stretch dream can be run a marathon. If your dream is to expand your business, maybe your stretch goal is to go across the borders with that dream. Okay, so first step, before you write it down, think, how can I make it bigger? And step number 2, before you write it down, is how can I make it faster? This is another way of making your dreams a lot more stretchy, you know. Sometimes you can make them bigger in size, and sometimes you can narrow down the time. The time you give yourself to do something is the time it usually takes you to do it. So make sure you can make it faster. And now, I want you to do this, the following. The exercise for today is simple yet powerful. I want you to write down your dream in one bold sentence. And remember, how can I make it bigger? How can I make it faster? Once you write it down, I want you to place that paper right next to your promise. Remember when you wrote your promise to finish this quest? Put it somewhere visible where you can look at it all the time. And get ready for our next lesson, because our next lesson will elevate and will complete this dream that you just wrote. I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite tools in the world. It's a tool that I personally use. It's a tool that I have taught every elite athlete I've worked with, every person that has been through my workshops, and they have seen miracles happen when they use it. So mark this lesson as complete, and I'll see you in the next one.